Hi Tim, how you doing? Hey Josh. Um, just an impromptu visit. Going to be putting together some London fog to take with to Nottingham on Sunday. Not enough there really to share with people. And yeah, just kind of getting my head around the stuff that I want to take with me. You all packed and ready to go, Tim? Oh, it's good. It is mighty, mighty good. Well, as I say, I'm making some London fog. And I also said that I was going to bring along those vintage McBaron tins. So I've got this Burley one. We've got this roll cut and ready rubbed. I'm not sure if I'll bring them all, but I'll certainly got a Latakia, straight Latakia, which I'm sure that will go down well. These are all roughly from around the 70s. I've got a spinning wheel. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not. I've not taken. Is that some meat pie by Drew Estates? Yeah. I've also put together a box of cigars, mostly non-Cubans. I'm going to be bringing that along for people to dip into. I've never tried that meat pie actually. Is that a Latakia blend? Yeah, that's Tim. There's lots and lots of sort of Oriental blends like that. Very Mississippi Riverish. Those kind of ilk tobaccos, which I'm not a huge fan of them. I mean, I've smoked them from time to time. But I'm not huge on them. And what the hell, I'll do the whole tin. Harriet Herfer, good evening, how are you? very well. I'm just getting ready for the Nottingham Pipe Show. So I'm preparing some London Fog to take with. Open up a tin of Virginia Woods. Oh, that's quite a bit brighter than the one that I've had open. Okay. Well, I hope that's going to last a little bit. I should have brought a mixing bowl, shouldn't I? Alright. That goes in. That's that one. And then we'll start to rub out this Orlik Golden Sliced. Do you remember the last time I did it? It was these big, huge, long sort of belts of Orlik Golden Sliced. But the 50-gram tin just comes in little flakes like that. It all ends up looking the same anyway by the time I've rubbed it out, but I thought it was really attractive, those long belts. Harriet, your pipe and tobacco should arrive any day now. Did I send you the reference number, the tracking? I can't remember. Your channel certainly seems to be busy, Harriet, at the moment. Quite a few winnings. I was in the middle of watching your video earlier, about half an hour ago, but I got busy with other stuff. So I haven't got quite to the box opening yet, just hearing you talking about wherever it was. But I'm just before the box opening. Yes, indeedy. Well, I've yet to win a goal. Almost 3 years now on the YTPC. Oh yeah, Josh. I forgot about that. Yeah, absolute conspiracy. Have I done a VR for you? Because that would be quite miraculous if I won it without doing a VR. Oh yes, I have done one. Yeah, it was quite a long one as well, wasn't it? was having a long chat today with Glyn Quelch of GQ Tobacco's fame, talking about pressing tobaccos. I'm still fairly eager to find a tobacco press of reasonable proportions. And I did look at some today actually, Harriet, of the pollen presses. And I might pick one up just to see how it all works, but alright, I think that's mixed, don't you? Alright, I'm curious to see how yours works out, Harriet. There is one which is quite big, which I found, which is about 6 inches tall. Hey, the puffin alien. It's about 6 inches tall and about 14 millimeters wide, which is the biggest one that I've managed to find. So I might go for that, but it's a little bit more expensive, so we'll see. And the other option is just to make something up out of timber. I think I'll add this to it, whatever is left in the jar, and then mix it up. I saw some of those wood presses, like tobacco presses or cigar presses. Alright. Alright, so that's a decent jar of London Fog to go with. I'll probably bring this tin of 40th anniversary, although I want to be a bit selfish and keep it, to be honest. We'll see. But I'm sure there's so many people out there who've never tried it before, and I really would like to see their faces as well. I did consider taking that big tin of half and half, but what I might just do is take this keg, which is open already anyway, and that's from the 70s as well, so there's decent age on that. I should also take some Northwoods along, shouldn't I? Because a lot of people in the UK won't have tried Northwoods, and that's something which is, you gotta just try it. Eric, hi. How are you? I haven't had the chance to watch your videos that you put up today, but I will do after this, probably. What's the time now? It's 5 past midnight now. We'll see. Northwoods. Here we are. So I think I'll take that as well. Special Latakia flake and rich dark flake. I think people can just get that themselves here in the UK. There's a reasonable amount of Northwoods there. So I think this is a reasonable amount of tobacco for sharing. I should keep people busy for a little while. Tobacco pipes though, and go decide which pipes to take along. But yeah. Yeah, I'm about to light this one up. This is a Ramon Allones French Regional Edition from 2016, and they're very nice. I have to admit, I'm not a huge Rocky Patel fan, at least not the ones that I've tried. I have one in the Tupperware that I'll be bringing with me. I think. Yeah. This is, I've had this for quite some time. You can see how brown the cellophane is. This is a Sun-Grown Frerte. Maybe I should try this one actually, because I've been smoking the Undercrown Sun-Grown. God, this is well and truly in me. You can see how brown that is. No, this is not for me. I can smell it already. It's got a really savoury, peppery aroma on the... Somebody who likes these will probably love this one, because it's probably really smoothed out and mellowed out. Your spell check is going wacko, Eric. Pudding alien. The thing about non-Cubans for me is that if I don't like it when I start it, I really feel bad, because I'm not the type of person who's just gonna muddle along through and smoke it just for the sake of it. If I'm not enjoying it, I'm not gonna smoke it. And so a lot of these I've looked up. Some of them I enjoy, some of them I don't. This is Undercrown. This is a new release, not kind of new release. It's the Florida Sun-Grown. I found it to be too spicy, so I'm taking a few of those along, a couple of those along. I've got some Nat Shermans, which I should really try them myself, but what the hell, might as well share them. I've got some aging rooms, which are nice. Got an Undercrown Robusto. It's a box press aging room. Don Pepin Garcia. And that's a cigar which a lot of people like, but I find them also very peppery. It's another Florida Sun-Grown. There's a few in here which are, I don't know what they are. And some of them, one or two of them might be Cuban, I'm not sure. This is a custom roll. I just can't for life of me remember who, we, what, when. Posted Bargo. And we've got some Nostranos, which is, a lot of people like these. These have got some really spicy cigar leaf in there. That's another unnamed. Not sure what that is. Got a little Davidoff. Which one's Puffing Alien? Sorry, remind me your first name. Puffing Alien, I can't remember. I really don't like calling people by their handle. I think it's so impolite. Andrew. Okay, I'll try to remember that. It took about 3 live videos and a pipe for me to remember Josh's name. I'm not doing that today, sorry. Andy, right, okay. You might need to remind me every so often, but I'll try. Krill, FB. How many cigars bowls do you smoke per day? Usually, well, I don't think there'll be any problem at all taking cigars to the show. If I remember correctly, seeing videos last year of people smoking cigars. The UK, in the Pipe Club of London, I'll sit down and have a cigar or a pipe, whatever I fancy, it makes no difference. People don't seem to be bothered at all. As long as you're in good company and you're behaving in a pleasant way, I don't think people care. Well, krill, there's no fixed amount. This one is wide open. A little bit too open actually, but usually what happens is when you light it, it usually expands. The Nottingham show hasn't been yet, Eric. It's this coming Sunday. So I don't know. I want to speak to him myself because I sent him an email about a custom order, and he hasn't responded. So I don't know. Hi, Pipes. Okay, so getting back to Krill's question, there's a couple of things. Number one, when I smoke a pipe, I don't smoke whole bowls. Very, very rarely do I fill the pipe. On average, I fill the pipe halfway up, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is because I find with a lot of tobaccos, not all tobaccos, but a lot of tobaccos, by the time I've got halfway down, it's starting to get an ashy flavour, even if you tip out the ash. But the tobacco, once you get past the halfway mark, some tobaccos, a fair percentage of tobaccos, go a little bit downhill because of that. So I prefer to smoke half a bowl and rather reload or load another pipe rather than fill a whole bowl. The second point to that is that I really like diversity, and rather than smoke an hour and a half or an hour on a single tobacco, I'd rather have a half an hour and take a different tobacco afterwards. Now, in terms of cigars, it really depends on where I'm at, because as many of you will have similar situations if you do smoke cigars, is that your fancy changes. I go through times when I'm smoking mostly pipes, and I go through times when I'm smoking mostly cigars. When I smoke, when I'm on the cigar when I'm smoking mostly cigars, I'll smoke 2 to 3 a day sometimes. And when I'm smoking pipes, on average I'll smoke 1 cigar a day, and sometimes no cigars. Today, this is my second cigar. The first one was only a small little thing, so this is my second cigar today. And in terms of pipe tobacco, I think I've had one bowl. It actually was more than half a bowl this time. It was 3/4 full of that mix-up that I did yesterday. The video is up on my channel earlier today, which is that mixture of 40th anniversary and pure Virginia from McBaron. And in terms of pipes, if I'm smoking mostly pipes and not cigars, I would say 2 to 3 half bowls a day. So the equivalent of 1 big bowl or 1.5 bowls, something like that. So despite my prevalence on social media, I don't smoke a huge amount. of pipes in a day, even if I smoke 3 different pipes, it'll only be a total of a bowl or a bowl and a half. Favorite cigar? Harriet? Impossible to say. It's really, you know, you go through phases, the same as with pipe tobacco. If somebody was to ask me right now, today, what's my favourite pipe tobacco, it would be an easy answer, which is the 40th anniversary. If you would have asked me that 3 months ago, I would have said London Fog. It just, you know, there's always something different, and at the moment it's 40th anniversary, and in terms of cigars, I can quite honestly say I don't have a favourite, because they all, in terms of Cuban cigars, I really enjoy pretty much all of them, except the Maduro versions of perhaps Cohiba and Partagas. They've got a Maduro version which I don't really enjoy, but otherwise the regular lines, well-aged regular line Cuban cigars, I absolutely adore them, and I can smoke any of them anytime really. If I had to really pick out something which, if somebody was to say to me a desert island Cuban cigar, I'd probably go with the H. Upmann Connoisseur number 1, or Connoisseur A, possibly. The Amphora of Virginia, did I mix it recently with something? No, I jarred some up recently, but I haven't mixed it with anything as yet. I really want I packed this. Oh, I should have written when I packed this in. This is a 2016 Amphora of Virginia. I loaded this up within the last week, so in actual fact I'm going to write on it June 18. I did find not easy writing on a circular thing. I don't know if I'll read that again in the future, but anyway. No, I haven't smoked Virginia number 1. Funnily enough, I was looking it up yesterday, but that's a very slight aromatic. I don't know if you would classify it as such, but it's definitely got a sweetener in there. It's got sugar in there. Tim, is there anything that you'd like me to bring up? Oh, I might give that a try then. I am really sort of trying to really stick to natural tobaccos, but the truth of the matter is, even natural tobaccos, I don't think they're 100% straight up about it, and they've all got something added to them. So I hear anyway. I've got a bunch of empty cigar boxes which I thought of taking a picture and putting it on social media if anybody wanted. I could bring them up with me on Sunday. Some people collect them. I'll show you what I've got, and you tell me which ones you want. Ashton pipes, yeah, what about them? Ashton pipes are good pipes. I've really had good experience with Ashton pipes, generally speaking. They're not particularly reasonable, no, but you do get a good pipe. I mean, they're not hundreds of pounds, but I think you'll need to spend maybe £150, maybe 100. Are you based in the US? Whereabouts are you? Russia. Well, prices are pretty good in Russia for pipes generally, from what I hear. They're a lot cheaper than here. Alright, Tim, I'm going to quickly show you and just say aye or nay, and I'll put them aside for you and I'll bring them up. This is a bit... hello? What is going on? My camera stopped working. Looks like my camera's frozen. Hang on, people. Alright, we're back on. I've just got to refresh my page on my big screen because it's showing a circle the whole time and it's bugging me. Okay. Right, this is a Quai d'Orsay, but it's really covered ridiculously with stickers, and you can't really get them off, so not much point in that one. What's this? This is Romeo y Julieta from 2014, Mille Fleurs tobacco cigars. Just a yes or no, Tim. It's quite a small box. I want to try and do this quickly. Monte Cristo Petit number 2s. 10 box from 2013. No. Saint Louis Rey Tesoros. Lovely artwork on that one. Medio Corona, Monte Cristo. Should I assume you don't want any Monte Cristos? A Chapman Royal Robusto. From 2017. Timmy! Ain't got all day, mate. You can't send a message. Well, you just did. That's another one, Royal Robusto. I'll put that both out for you. That's a Ramon Allones hexagon, but it's also got stupid stickers on it, so forget that. Lovely cedar box Ramon Allones double XL. Partagas D4s. No, thank you. Okay. Okay, two more. There's special selected Ramona Jonas vintage selection. Boxes from 2008. And one more, which is the Romeo y Julieta Wide Churchill from 2012. Hey Chad. That's coming for you, Tim. I'll bring those along on Sunday, all being well. I'm going to put them in a bag right now. Unless I forget. You owe me out. Your soul. I've got a nice JJ Fox bag for you. Right, it packs up quite nicely, quite compact. There you go. You can walk around like Julia Roberts and tell everybody, big mistake. Seeker up. Good luck with the Ashtons. Those are just empty boxes. Unfortunately, that kind of just demonstrates what I've consumed. It's a bit scary actually when I look back at those boxes. I've resisted the temptation to show my cigar collection. So anybody else from the UK on at the moment? Going to the show? Actually, I think I'll take Tree. He likes tins. I'll take him some empty tins. Where's that tin of All It Golden Sliced? Got a few tins for Tree. What have I done with that tin? Oh, there it is. Harriet, thank you. My pipe collection has dwindled big time. I've sold and given so many. I'm really down to, in terms of the ones that I smoke, I'm down to about 20 odd. And I'm not in a rush to expand at the moment. I'm not saying that I'm not expanding. I'm just rotating all the time. I'm evolving all the time. I'm buying and selling and passing on and giving and all the time as my tastes and preferences move about. But for me, ultimately, it's got to be smoked. So if I'm, with the odd exception, of course, but generally speaking, if I don't smoke them, then I'm kind of quick to pass it on. Hi Alex. I do have a couple of very special pipes which are due in towards the end of the year. Northern Briars, Ian Walker, he's unbelievably in his 60th year of carving pipes, and he released a limited run of pipes, of 60 pipes, to commemorate the 60 years, and those spots were taken up already last year, and I reserved 2 spots, one smooth pipe and one sandblasted pipe. So I'm really excited to get those. Yeah, it's legendary, really, Tim. 60 years is a long time. You got to be pretty passionate about, either passionate or extremely committed to be doing the same thing every day for 60 years. I've been doing photography for about 15 years, and there are times when I'm completely fed up with it. Although the truth is, I'm not fed up with taking the photos. I'm fed up with the processing work. I really am already completely fed up with it. I have been for a while, but I just do it because I've got to do it. You got to, earn a crust. But the processing, it's just, I find it very tedious sitting in front of the computer hour upon hour. I mean, that's why I have where I get the time to do these videos and stuff, because I'm processing, I'm at my desk for so many hours. Yeah, nowadays, Chad, you're absolutely right. Such a throwaway society. See your pipes. And I've got to be honest that I'm victim to that myself. Um, you know, you do get kind of quite addicted to and attached to devices and whatnot, and every so often you try to fast yourself from all of the devices, which for me, it works every Saturday, every Sabbath. In our religion, we don't have any connection to anything electronic, so there's always a sabbatical each week, if you like, from everything social media connected. Yeah, I agree, Harriet. I've gone through a fair few jobs, and each time, you think the grass is greener, but once your honeymoon period is over and the novelty wears off, there are not that many people who can say that they do something that they love 100%. I'm sure there are some, but that would be quite a utopian existence. Yeah, I hear that, Tim. But when you're doing weddings, it's not just about the exposure. It's also about the angle. It's about the cropping. Oh, good for you, Andy. converting to mono, adding effects and things like that. Although I'm not big into effects. I'm quite a big believer of natural photography, and it's all, obviously you try to get the exposures right in camera as much as possible. But especially when you're working indoors, it's not always possible when you're working on the fly. If you're in a studio environment, then fine. But when you're at a wedding and you're taking candid shots for 90% of the time, you gotta just, you're working quickly. You get the shot, you gotta get the moment, and as long as you're close, exposure-wise, it's good enough, and then you can tweak it afterwards. But wedding photography is a different animal from still photography or studio photography. Although I do take studio lights with me, so for certain parts of the wedding, I almost create a studio at the venue, wherever I am, wherever the wedding happens to be. I'll use 3 or 4 lights, studio lights, and take a set of studio type photos, formal photos. But the rest of the time, it's all on the fly, off camera flash, that kind of thing. And that's, when you come home with, say, a couple of thousand pictures from a wedding, that's when the tedium sets in. The first thing I have to do is go through every single one of those photos and cut. On average, I'll usually end up with somewhere between 400 and 600 pictures. I'm really not a believer of giving a bride and groom 2,000 pictures, because they're never going to enjoy the story of the wedding with 2,000 pictures. You have a picture of whatever it is, the bride or the bride and groom moving 1 inch this way, 1 inch that way, and you've got literally 20 pictures of the same shot but slightly different versions. I'm not a believer in that. Different poses, yes, but the same pose but slightly this way, that way, to the right, to the left. I don't believe in that. And I try to imagine myself going through the pictures afterwards, and if I would find it kind of breaks the momentum of what I want to do when I produce a set of wedding photos. I want to produce a story. I want 20 years time that young couple to be able to relive their special day. And when you've got thousands of pictures to go through, it just breaks it up. You just can't have a flow. So I generally cut. I will give the full story, not just highlights. I will give them the full story of the wedding. Every pose, every shot, every group shot will be there. But just I'll pick the best 1 or 2, and that's it. And on average, between 400 and 600 photos. I try very hard not to go above 600. For 2 reasons. Number one, what I've just said, in terms of it really being too much overload. And second of all, just practicalities in terms of how much time I'm going to spend on it. As it is, when you're snapping away on the day, so you're on average, the weddings that I do are usually very late. I might start at 3 or 4 in the afternoon and go on till 3 or 4 in the morning. So it's a long day to be on your feet. Sometimes I'll start at lunchtime or even 12 midday and go till 3, 4 in the morning. So it's a long day. So that's a long, hard day, but that's enjoyable. But I might spend a week on that wedding processing it, getting it to look the way I want it to look. And some of my customers, they get a bit fed up waiting because I can take some time. But I'm very fussy. A lot of other photographers that I've spoken to, they've told me just outsource it, give the processing out. You can send them off to the Far East or wherever it is, and they do it for a fraction of the price, and they'll knock it out for you. But I won't do that. I'm extremely fussy about how my pictures look. Because when I take the shots, in the back of my mind, I know what I'm going to do with them afterwards. Whereas a third party is really not going to have any idea. Hi Tree, how you doing? I've set aside a few empty tins for you. You still collecting tins? I was going to bring them up with me on Sunday, all being well. Alright, yeah, I'll bring them with me, all being well. I almost didn't make it again this year. If you listen to one of my videos, somebody called me yesterday and asked me if I can do a job on Sunday. But so far they haven't called me back, so that looks like it's not happening. Although, they could call Sunday morning and say, are you available? So we'll see. But I'm pretty geared up to go now. Enjoy your dinner, Harriet. Thanks for joining. Hugh is home, or your home is huge. Both options are good. What you been up to, Tree? When is the picnic, by the way? Yeah, I got that, Harriet. I was just messing around. Tree, when is the picnic? The Piper's picnic? End of July, right. It's right in the middle of the summer holidays, isn't it? I might be away then. We haven't decided yet. We'll see how funds allow. Pretty strained at the moment after the wedding, so I'm not sure we'll actually make it this year to a vacation. We'll see. We shall see. 15th of July. Tim, are you going? It's a bit of a hike from Leeds, I'd imagine. Let me see what I'm doing on the 15th, if anything is booked in. of July. I've already got it in my diary, Piper's Picnic. It's probably, I probably won't go. It's unlikely. Sundays is a very difficult day for me to get out, as it is this this Sunday. Going to the Nottingham Pipe Show is a bit of an exception. Unless I'm working, I tend to set aside Sundays to spend with the family. But my wife has been very understanding, and she knows that I've been trying to go for the last 2 years. So far, she hasn't made a ruckus, and hopefully it will stay that way. A little bit of canoeing going on this cigar. Yeah, that's the one this Sunday. That's the Nottingham Pipe Show. That's this coming Sunday. Well, that will probably set the whole pipe on fire, Eric. I was going to do a live drawing at the show for my giveaway, 2000 giveaway, but I haven't done the giveaway, so I can't. I don't know, I just haven't come up with anything solid as a theme for the giveaway. And I also want to make it straightforward. I don't want to put people to a lot of effort to enter. And I also want the giveaway to be live. I've become a little bit cynical in my old age. I'm really quite, how to say this nicely, I'm getting a little bit fed up of some of the way people do their drawings, and I don't want to go into a rant. I think I'll leave it there. Anyway, so I've got to come up with a theme. Excellent idea, Eric. If you come to Nottingham on Sunday, I might just do that. I'm sure you'll manage that on your teacher's salary. I was actually going to look up the cost of going by train to Nottingham. I haven't done that yet. I assumed I would drive, but in some ways it might be simpler to just go by train, less hassle. But it would mean that I can't smoke on the way there or the way back. So, I don't know, we'll see. Although chances are I'll be smoked out by the time the show's over. Alright, guys and girls, this was a little bit impromptu, so I wasn't intending to be on for too long. Are you going with your dad, Tim? Well, that's very nice. That's very nice indeed. So you are going by train, though. Very nice. Well, I look forward to seeing you both. Seeing your dad again, obviously. It was an honour and a pleasure seeing him last time, up in Newcastle, in the Toon. Cheers, Mr. Miller. Alright, people. I think we'll call it a day. Thank you, Mr. Miller. Thank you, Wolf Valley Boy Tim. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Chad, if you're still there. Thank you, Tree. Thank you, Harriet, who's gone. You certainly do, Eric. Yeah, I should really pick one up myself, but I'm a little bit sad that I think the chances of me picking up a pipe are virtually zero. Because, hi Josh, sorry I missed you out. I doubt very much that there'll be even one 9mm pipe on display. I feel like I'm in a minority, and I should really start some kind of campaign against all the filterist behaviour that goes on. Mike Blocker actually keeps talking to me about a couple of GLP's blends, Virginia blends. I think they're Red Virginias. Can't remember what they are. I'd be curious to know if other people have had them. Would you hang on a second? I'm just gonna. I don't know if it's gonna cut out or not because I just need to look on my phone at the ones he's told me about. Actually, yeah, I think he's done it actually on a YouTube video. Just hang on, guys. Hang on. Because I'd really be interested in your opinion on them. He commented on one of the videos that I did recently. No, maybe it was on the HH Pure Virginia First Impressions. Game Cup 5, here we go. Okay, so he writes, I'm polishing off a tin of very enjoyable GLP's Union Square and Laurel Heights from GLP's. Anybody familiar with those? Union Square and Laurel Heights. No, I haven't had Navigator. I mean, there's the GLPs and Cornell and Dill is just a vast world which I haven't really tapped at all. And as I discover new brands and new blends, I tend to get fascinated by them, and till I sort of find something else that excites me. And I think most of us go through that from time to time. And at the moment, it's McClelland's which is occupying my mind, but well, 2 years is a fairly good time. Are they Virginias? Are they Red Virginias? I suppose I can go on tobacco reviews and see. I thought maybe somebody might know. Well, tobacco reviews. A blended sliced cake of high-grade flue-cured leaf from beautiful, sweet, bright to deep, earthy reds, without added sugars and flavourings common to many Virginia flakes. It's rich on the palate, evolving in layers with a clean, natural sweetness of pure tobaccos. Pleasant room note, delicious finish, da-da-da-da-da. It sounds like something I should try. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've said the goodbyes. Josh, goodbye to you too. Have a very pleasant evening. And yeah, Saturday night, possibly. We'll see how it goes. I should really have an early night on Saturday night, especially if I'm going to be driving up. So we'll see how we go. Maybe we'll come in for a short while on Saturday night, around midnight, probably. So I wish you all a fantastic evening and fantastic morning for those of us here in the UK. And I will catch you anon. See ya.